Hello friends, welcome back to the channel. Hope everyone is doing good. So we are discussing about home build NAS server in budget basically. I have discussed very detail about the mini PC we are going to use for NAS build in the previous video. We discussed about PC, what is PCI and all the stuff in that video. If somebody is like didn't have context on what I am talking, just start with the previous video. Okay, so this is the uh, mini PC I am talking about, which we have seen in the last video. Okay, now let's discuss about the parts. Okay, so this is the parts sheet. So I have divided the sheet into the segments, like to make it uh, easier for you to find the parts. And also I will link this sheet in the description, so you can always look into the part and see the average cost for it. And also I have linked the exact order, like the website where you can find that part. Okay, let's see overall cost we are getting. So basically, like the primary component is something that you cannot build this server without those. Okay, so that is primary, and secondary is like is more like the add-on to the server. Let's say hard disks. I am using two 3 TB hard disks. So both of them are secondary for me. Like you can just use if you don't want lot of space, you can just use a 500 GB hard disk for less cost and you can use that. So it's completely up to you. But this particular server will support 6 SATA hard disks. Yeah. And now that is secondary, and then optional is like basically the outer casing. And also you can just put it in some desk, or like you can just keep it on top of one another, some like in whatever way possible, or you can build some structure with wood or acrylic panel. It's up to you. You can avoid this optional cost altogether. So the primary cost for the server is around 11,000, and then the secondary, I'm using like two hard disks. Those hard disks is alone cost 10,000, and I'm using 12 GB RAM. So that also an optional. Like you don't require. Sorry, I'm using 16 GB, so you don't require 16 GB of RAM. You can just use 8 GB, right? So that is also secondary. Okay, so and I am also using an SSD, and in the last video, as you seen, let me show you this. Okay. So in the last video, as you've seen, I am using I am converting onboard Wi-Fi slot into SSD. Okay, so that's way like that also is for me is secondary, because you can just go ahead and use the SATA drive. Maybe you can get some 1,000 rupees 250 GB hard disk, to the 2.5-inch hard disk and put here. Okay, so we can completely avoid this SSD. But I suggest to use this SSD because like generally SSDs are PCI 4 lane. You can get lot of speed, but since we are using this PCI lane one, only single lane, we get around 950 Mbps. Like 1,000 is theoretical speed, but you won't get theoretical speed. You get around 950 Mbps by using this SSD. So it's 950 is very higher than what you get with normal hard disks. Hard disks will give you around 200 Mbps, right? It's around 4 times you get more bandwidth using this SSD. So if your NAS have something that required to fetch quickly, like let's say the OS I'm installing the OS in this SSD, so you will get the actual NAS performance will be very good. So yeah, I suggest to use, but it's up to you. So but with with this setup, you can with primary cost, like you can build it under 15,000. If you go with less storage, but if you want more storage and better storage, it will cost you around 25,000 or 26,000. Yeah. So let's make it 15,000 as the base price for this setup. Okay, let's go with the components here. This is obviously I got uh, the actual mini PC from recycle cart. There are a lot of second handle parts in this website. Okay, let me share my screen. Yeah. So this is the website I'm talking. There are a lot of second handle parts in this website. You can go through them and like if you are interested, you can buy it. And we have seen this in the last video. So this is basically the M.2 to SATA expander. We already connected in our mini PC. Let me show you that. So we already connected it here. If you see this part, this is where we connected it. And we have this SSD which I get it for cheaper price in this particular third party website. So or else you can get it wherever it is. But remember, whatever SSD you are getting, you should get 2230 is the size. There is 2280 which is like full length. Full length doesn't fit. If you see here, there is a capacitor like if you see here, there is a capacitor in here, so full length SSD doesn't fit. So strict with the SSD that has like uh, two to as it shown 2230. Okay, yeah. Then we have the RAM. Yeah. So this is the RAM. I'm using somewhat cheaper RAM here, 16 GB. So if you go with 8 GB, this cost will reduce. 8 GB is enough for your whatever NAS usage you are thinking. I want to run some maybe VMs in future, so that's why I just want to be future proof and go with 16 GB here. And this also comes under secondary, like so basically the SSD which you token, this will go into this particular PCI expansion. We have seen it in the last video how to arrange it. But if you see in the system, it is here. It is here. If you see here, there are two things here. One, we need to put this adapter first and then put the SSD next. Then the actual hard disk. So let me show you the hard disks. Okay. So then I have the actual hard disks here. So I got this hard disks like one from some third party site. This Genox is from Amazon, and this Seagate is from third party. Both are 3 TB hard disks. So important, always get the same size hard disk. So if you're getting 4 TB, then always get the another pair of 4 TB hard disks. So because there is a concept called mirroring in TrueNAS. Basically, that will act as an redundancy for you. Like you using now, I use both the hard disks, and I will only get 3 TB of storage. Uh, if they each are 3 TB, so it should be 6 TB. But I only get 3 TB because I keep it in mirror mode. That means if there is a file in one hard disk, that will be copied into second hard disk for backup purpose. So every file will store twice. That is for redundancy. Like there are like photos are like memories are important. So we need to like, and also the marriage photos are especially important. Like we don't want to mess with them. So I need redundancy for it. Okay. Next is like we get the that is about hard disk. Okay. So now let's go to the power supply. So let me remove this guy. So this is the power supply. So what this power supply do? So this power supply contains a 12 volt DC input. Okay, and then it converts the 12 volts into 5 volt. So if you see this particular wire, this is called Molex connector. So this Molex connector contains a red and a yellow. Yellow is 12 volts and red is 5 volts. For 3.5 hard disk, you need both 5 volt and 12 volt to send it. But you cannot directly connect this Molex to 3.5 hard disk. Okay, so there is something called SATA connector. So if you see here, this is how a SATA connector looks. This is what goes into hard disk. So this particular molex will go into this SATA. Then you will have multiple SATA connectors out. So this is a separate wire which is called molex to SATA parallel wire. You can give a molex power supply and it will convert it into multiple SATA ports. And this is like basically converting 12 volt signal to 5 volt. This is the part which I get it from eBay, and it took a lot of time for me to arrive. So please plan it accordingly. So here, if you see, we are talking about this connector. This is SATA connector. So 5-pin SATA connector, we can call it like IDE and Molex is same. If you're confusing what this IDE and Molex is same. It's like 4-pin Molex to 5-pin SATA connector. So yeah, and then you have the actual 12 volts adapter to Molex. This is 12 volts adapter this side, and this is Molex. Okay, so these both will help you power your hard disk. Okay, so there is one more option. You can just ignore both of these two and use a generic PC power supply. So this power supply will contain this power supply contains already contains two different SATA power supplies along with Molex also it contains. So these two will help you power the hard disk. But the problem with the power supply doesn't on by its own unless you turn on the to send the signal to turn on. So since we don't have any this power supply is used to power on the hard disk, so we want it to be running whenever we turn on the power to our NAS system. So you can directly short it. Basically, if you see here, in this connector you have these two pins. I have used some jumper to sort these two pins. So this allows this power supply to run continuously. Whenever you give the power supply, power to this power supply like AC power supply, this will start and it will give you DC out with a proper SATA connector. So there is all the 5 volts and 12 volt switching, everything happen inside the power supply. But this is very bulkier. So, and also like this is very old one and that not very power efficient. So this will actually cost you more electricity bill compared to the earlier setup we have. Okay. So yeah, let's keep this away. Okay, now you have the now you have the SATA pin if you see. So this one will so we have seen if you see the hard disk here, hard disk has two pins here. One is the power supply. This is power supply rail, and the second is data rail. So this data rail should go into your mini PC using this particular wire. Okay, let me show you how we can connect that. Okay, now we have this. Let me make the second screen bigger. Okay, you connect your 7-pin SATA and then you provide the power supply using SATA power to Molex to SATA power. So I have connected here this one and here this one. Okay, so this is the Molex pin here. So let me connect Molex here. Okay, so now this end will go into your 12 volt adapter, power adapter. So there is we have the 12 volts adapter also in the list. So you can get that. Now, how it connects to this one, right? So now you have your mini PC here. So this particular 7-pin SATA will go into your mini PC, just like this. See here. So this is this is how a hard disk will connect it to your mini PC. So if you have another hard disk, you have multiple SATA here. So there are multiple SATAs here. So if you have another hard disk, you can connect one more SATA in here. Okay, so I have connected another one more SATA pin, and you can connect the another. You can take another 7-pin SATA. So now I have the 7-pin SATA. Okay, so now the second one also will goes to second port. Okay, so this is how the whole hard disk will connect it to your PC. And this one you need to give to your basically your yeah, this one will go into the 12 volts power adapter. And there is one more adapter for turning on the mini PC. So this is how the overall setup looks. Okay, let's go into the, let me remove these. And on the top case, since like you cannot fit your top case without with these on, so I just made a small hole on the top case. So I made a like a bigger hole. This is like around 5.5 into 5.5 hole So I can attach a 5 fan if these are getting overheated. So that is the idea. So that's why I have exactly cut 5.5 into 5.5 into 5.5 hole. So maybe in future I can add a 60 fan there. Yeah. Okay. Remove this. Be careful when you are removing these because like these have clips, and also we need to do little wiggle and then remove them, or else like the actual female port is not that much strong. Okay, let's go to the parts list. Back to the parts list. Okay, we have seen uh, these two, and the LAN is to just connect your home router with the mini PC. Okay, so that is for the LAN, because like LAN don't you since we don't have Wi-Fi anymore, we changed the Wi-Fi port into storage. We can't use we can only use LAN, and Wi-Fi is also like not good in these mini PCs. So just go with LAN, and generally 2.5 gigabit bandwidth is there for this particular mini PC. So and my home network only supports 100 1 Gbps. So anyway, like that is more than enough. We'll talk about all the stuff in future when we are testing hard disks and network speed and everything. Yeah, so like when you are installing the True NAS into the mini PC, basically you need a monitor to do that. So if you don't have, so let me show you the mini PC again. Okay, so this has a two port display port. So display ports are different from HDMI. Okay, this is not a HDMI port. This is called display port. You need to have a wire which which connects to display port to HDMI. So there won't be any power supply, separate power supply to require. Just that is one end would be your display port and one end would be HDMI. So you need that wire, and these two are added like as primary, and they're like less cost. Like you can check much cheaper than what I have, what I added here. So both of them I'm getting from Amazon. Okay, we have seen everything, and this is the 12 amp power supply. So this is not don't remember, this is not a standard laptop power supply. You cannot put a standard laptop power adapter which is 19 volts. So you need a adapter with 12 volts. Okay, so I'm using 5 amps here. When I say 5 amps, generally one hard disk will take 1 amp, and we are using two hard disks, that is around 2 amps. Okay, so now I'm also attaching a cooling fan to it. So the cooling fan will take around 3 amps. So it definitely less than 3 amps, but at peak performance it's 3 amps. So 5 amps is adapter is enough for me at this point for two hard disks. Okay, so if you are going with 10 amps adapter, your cost will increase. So right now I don't have very near plans to get another hard disk. So I'm just using 5 amps here. But if you 10 amps is more ideal, because like you'll add more hard disks maybe in future. And also like we already exactly at 5 amps, so we're already reaching 5 amps. So that's why like get a 10 amps adapter, or at least 5 amps is needed. Okay, we are talking about these. We have seen the okay. This is basically the SATA 7-pin SATA connector from mini PC to hard disk, the main data cable. Okay, so that one we have seen. And yeah, so this is also like something we can make it primary, and it's more like a optional if you want. But the thing is like this Molex comes with sure. Yeah, this Molex comes with the barrel jack, and this barrel jack is not Indian standard. So when you get it from eBay, you get a 5.5 into 2.5. So 5.5 into 2.5 is used more in China, but in India we use 5.5 into 2.1. Okay, so we are like very near. Generally, adapters will fit, but for the one which I got with this step down power sub converter, so this one doesn't come. This came with 5.5 into 2.5, and whatever adapter I have is not fitting. So the one in the Robo which I have shown you, which is not fitting here, uh, or it will fit. But anyway, like I just given a few female sockets for you from here. Like if you see if it fit, it's fine, or else get a 2.1, which is more like Indian standard 5.5 into 2.1. Get those and remove the default one, and add the one with the which you got it. So yeah, it's like a little bit of soldering you need, but mostly that is the change you do it for this one. But if you don't want to use this and wait for the eBay to come, and also just use a normal PC power supply, that is fine. And also like I got this thermal silicon pad, and also I got this thermal silicon pad. So last time when we opened the CPU, if you see the CPU doesn't have any thermal a pad or thermal paste in it. So I think it's like it's fine. Like CPU is not crossing more than 60 degrees in my testing, and also 60 to 80 degrees it's there. But it's up to you. Like if you want to add a thermal pad between your CPU and a cooling block, you can do that. So this is not a paste. Paste is much more efficient, but I thought I'm ordering from this website. I order the this silicone pad also like along with it, which cost very less compared to the paste. Okay, so we completed the cables section. Okay, so the cooling fan section is very new because like I added it very recently. Earlier, it's not there. I thought I don't want to add cooling fan in this build because we have two hard disks, and like I thought like the temperature would be fine. It is fine, but the hard disk temperature is going till 50 degrees. Right now we are in like sort of rainy season in India, but in summer. it can go into 55 degrees. That is a very dangerous temperature for hard disk. So hard disk should be under 45 degrees. 35 to 35 to 40 is more sweet point for hard disk. So I would say definitely we need a fan. Now, when you bring the fan component into your build, everything become little complicated because like you need a mounting now and the hard disk should get the proper air and all. So that's why I need to go for a 3D enclosure now for hard disk to keep the hard disks. But yeah, it's like however you design your cooling system is up to you. But I am using this particular setup. Let me show you what I mean. There is a module. So basically, yeah, let's talk about the fan first. So DC fan contains like two variants. One is like three variants. Let's talk about each one. So one is like if you give the 12-volt power supply directly start spinning at full speed, which takes around like 3 amps, something like that. So 3 amps is if you're running your NAS continuously, 3 amps is little bit more because like 3 amps will give you around 12 into 3. That is 48 watts. So you can like 48 into uh, 10, 480. You can 1 kilowatt will be reached by a day. So you are consuming 1 kilowatt. That is around your ceiling fan, I think. Your ceiling fan also consumes 1 kilowatt, which is like 1 unit. So we will consuming 1 unit of electricity in a day. So in a month, you will consume around 30 units for the fan itself. So 30 units around like 5 rupees if you take, give or take. So that is uh, 150. So around 150 rupees you are spending for the fan itself in a month. So with the cost of fan, you can get 1 TB storage from the cloud, right? Very ironic. So, but anyway, like we talked about, I don't want to discuss about having NAS, privacy, and cloud versus NAS, and also here, but yeah. Definitely, this setup will cost you like overall setup will cost you at least 150 rupees per month, even you host it at your home. But you get around like if you have more hard disks, you get around theoretically you can get like 50 or 60 TB. So if you want to get 50 or 60 TB in cloud, it is very, very high amount. Okay, so yeah, so that's why we need to, there is type 2 fan where you can regulate the speed of the fan. Using something called PWM. So you can tell the fan you run at 50 percent or 40%, that type of thing. So you need a controller for it. So again, for spin the fan at particular speed, you need a controller for it. So that controller is this one. Okay, so I will do a separate video when we are setting up cooling system. Basically, I will do is it needs a separate video because the video will become lengthier. So this is a controller which you can tell it like and also this one contains something called thermal probe. This is the thermal probe. So that thermal probe will detect the temperature of the hard disk and decides whether to run the fan at full speed or not. It might run the fan at 50% or 40%, and then like slowly increase its from 100% to 100% if the temperature rises. So that sort of module this is, and this is the very like very good fan for the budget. Like even this is like a international brand. Arctic. So this brand is used in multiple PC builds. This is basically PC build, PC fan, and this is 120 mm. So you need to go with a larger size fan, which runs slowly and gives more air. If you go with smaller fan, what happens is it need to run faster. When it runs faster, it will generate lot of noise. So that's a PC fans are around 120 mm because like 120 mm is ideal sweet spot where you won't hear anything. when you are running the NAS. So I seen all those parameters like how much loudness it will come and all. With this setup, you barely feel your fan spinning, and also like you consume mostly like you consume maybe half of what we discussed earlier. That is uh, around like 50 watts a month, 50 watt, 50 units a month with this setup with only fan. And also we see the all the power ratings and everything in later videos, like how much power the whole system is taking in, and all the speed parameters, network parameters, hard disk test and everything. Okay, so there is this 3D printing mounting which I'm gonna use, which is completely optional. You might require a 3D print mount definitely to stack the hard disk and attach a fan to it. So that is for sure required. But apart from that, you don't require a lot of things in this list. But my let me show you like after getting all of this printed. Let's give you a glimpse. So this is how my system looks at the end. So this is the rack. So I am trying to get it printed now, like it's still in progress. So this rack will contains my HP mini PC, and on top of it there is this cool 3D printed case for hard disks with the fan. It can we can attach a fan into it, which is 120 fan. So I chosen my fan for this one. So this one looks dope. So you can just hot swap your hard disk. Uh, so there are screws and there is little bit of extra components required. So that's what you have it here. Like you have rat screws, what screws are required for this particular. All of these three setup is here. So it's up to you if you want to go with exact setup. Go with it. It will to get it printed. It costs around 5,000 for because like it's a big print. Like you will get a 10 inch into 10 inch server case. In that everything all this system will fit in. Okay, so in later videos. This will also become its in its own video, and let's see how that looks at the end. Okay, so this is the whole parts and how they interact with one another in our NAS build. And also like the pricing aspects of it also we discussed in this video. So mostly the next video would be testing the two hard disks, the how much speed we are getting and all, and also like how much speed we are getting with SSD and with hard disk. So we discussed I am using a SSD in my NAS instead of using some hard disk for boot OS. So what advantages it will give us, right? That one we can discuss. And second thing, I will discuss the network speed. Like with my current router, I will give you my router details. So with that router, with this particular mini PC, I will check the network speed with Wi-Fi and with LAN. Let's see like how that behaves. Okay, that's it for this video. So see you in the next videos.